Sometimes we find when a scientist discovers something which is very impressive to the ignorant or a common man, the common man accepts that discovery as something very wonderful. He is completely wonderstruck with the discoveries of some intelligent scientist. Correct? Just imagine, sometimes you will find, imagine one villager who is in his own world in the village and has no idea about what is scientific development, how the scientists, the different creations by the scientists, what they have done. And imagine if such a villager has to come to the city and he sees many of the so-called wonders created by the scientist. He sees the display of such wonders. Definitely he is struck with wonder. And he gives credit to that scientist. Common man and ignorant man, he gives credit to that scientist who has created some wonders in this world. Just like we can also imagine the display of, say, many kinds of planes created by scientists. The display of many of the trains created by the scientists. Just like India is so much wonderstruck with the technology which is present in many countries. Imagine here, if I want to go from here to Delhi, it is almost more than, I think, how many kilometers it must be? 1200? Say around 1200 kilometers. In India, the trains are traveling average speed of around 60, 62, 70, and maximum it may be 100, 80 to 100 is maximum. So imagine, even if the fastest train, if they have to run with 70, 80 kilometers, how many hours it is going to take from here to Delhi? Now it takes around 24 hours, correct? With 60, 70 kilometers speed. Even if it is doubled to around 100, it may reduce to around 12 hours. So now India wants to borrow the technology from Japan or from China, where they have something called as bullet trains, because India is so much wonderstruck with the technology which is there in those countries, where they can travel practically at the speed like a bullet, and within 2 to 3 hours you can be from here, you can reach. Because the trains, now our flights are traveling with around 400, 500 kilometers, their trains travel with around 300, 400 kilometers per hour. So imagine, if 500 kilometers per hour, if the train is traveling within 2.5 hours, from here you can reach Delhi. And we are very much wonderstruck with those kinds of technology which those people have developed, isn't it? So Prabhupada is pointing out that actually when we are wonderstruck by all these kind of scientific discoveries, we are still ignorant, we are still fools, we are not very intelligent. Intelligent man is one who is wonderstruck at the person who has created such wonderful brain. You see? That we are not even thinking about. We are giving credit to the scientist. See how this scientist is so intelligent. He has created these wonderful discoveries, he has done this wonderful invention. But actually, we should be wonderstruck that is there a scientist anywhere in the world who can create Professor Einstein's brain in the laboratory? Say Newton had discovered Newton's law, or Einstein had discovered Einstein's theory of relativity, and he was considered to be one of the greatest scientists of this century. Isn't it? So we should be wonderstruck that there is a personality who has given a brain. How much more wonderful he must be. By this wonderful brain, so many discoveries are happening. So the person who has developed that wonderful brain, how much more intelligent he must be. Who can produce millions and millions and millions of such brains. He is more intelligent. Therefore, actually, the devotees of the Lord, they are more intelligent. Because they don't stop at Newton or Einstein or this so-called wonderful creation. They go beyond that. They go beyond the creation, they go to Creator. The one who has created all these creations. So, Prabhupada is saying here in the purport, when a scientist discovers something impressive to the ignorant mass of people, the common man, without inquiry, accepts such a discovery as wonderful. But the intelligent man is not struck with wonder by such discoveries. He gives all credit to the person who created the wonderful brain of the scientist. So here also we are seeing the great sages, these great personalities, the inhabitants of the higher planets, they are seeing not just the wonderful display of the Lord, they are seeing the wonderful displayer, the person who has displayed this. We should not get stuck at display. We should go beyond. We should not get stuck at creation. We should go beyond the creation to the Creator. We should not get stuck at the beauty of the world. We should go beyond and see how much more beautiful will be the Creator of this beauty itself. Correct? We get stuck with the so-called beauty of this world. This nature is beautiful, mountain is beautiful, people are beautiful, isn't it? With all this so-called beauty of the world. We should go beyond and understand the person who can create these millions of beauties. And that is why the devotee of the Lord, he is not surprised when the Lord is dancing with the gopis, isn't it? Just like 27th we had the special Alankara of the Lord. On that day of Sharad Purnima, the Lord performed Rasa dance. So foolish people, they will think the Lord is enjoying some beautiful woman, isn't it? What is that beautiful woman for the Lord? He has created millions and millions of such beauties, isn't it? We can imagine. This all in the material world, what we see, the beauty is just material beauty. The Lord is the source of all these beauties. How much more beautiful He must be. Just like Prabhupada gives an example, the sweet maker, he is making everyday sweet he is making. You may be attracted to that sweet, but that sweet maker is not attracted because that is his daily business. Correct? So similarly, the Supreme Lord, who is the creator of all these beauty, he is not attracted. So devotee is not under the impression thinking that the Lord is enjoying some beautiful gopis or like that. The Lord is doing this for the pleasure of His devotees, not for His enjoyment. That pleasure of His devotees gives Him enjoyment. When He gives pleasure to His devotees, that itself gives enjoyment to the Lord. So, Prabhupada is saying here that these great personalities, they are seeing the display of the Lord, some wonderful display of the Lord, and behind that they are able to see the potencies of the Lord which are working. And not just one. They are saying, my dear Lord, you have created many more wonderful things. This creation itself is wonders of wonder. That is what they are saying. Na vismayo asau. We are not very much wonderstruck with this because you are a wonderful actor yourself. Tvai vishva vismaye. You have created this wonderful cosmic manifestation which is filled with all wonders. So that is what we are seeing. Common man is also struck with wonder by the wonderful action of material nature. So Prabhupada is pointing out two kinds of people. One is who is wonderstruck with the living entities who are creating some things. Another is who is wonderstruck with creation by material nature. He recognizes that yes, this wonderful sun is not created by some scientist. He recognizes these clouds are not created by the scientist. This water is not created by the scientist. The mountains are not created by the scientist. He is able to recognize this. But unfortunately, he is also not able to go beyond nature. He thinks this is all manifestation by material nature, and material nature is acting independently. They are called Shaktas. They are worshipper of potencies of the Lord. The potent they cannot recognize. They are not able to recognize the omnipotent to whom these potencies belong to. So they will be all worshipping Durga, they will be worshipping the Shaktis of the Lord. They don't recognize the supreme potent, Shaktiman. They are not able to recognize. So you will find such kind of people are also there. They are also wonderstruck with the material creation, but they are not able to go beyond that. But here we are seeing these devatas, they are not struck with the Shakti of the Lord. They are able to recognize the omnipotency of the Lord, that it belongs to the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada is saying here, the learned Krishna conscious person, however, knows well that behind the cosmic manifestation is the brain of Krishna, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. This inquiry we find even in second canto Srimad Bhagavatam, where Narada was not very much wonderstruck by the creation, secondary creation of Brahma. Imagine. We are wonderstruck with some creation by the scientist. Some scientist has created one aeroplane and this and that, and we become wonderstruck with that. We are seeing Narada, the devotee of the Lord, he is not very much wonderstruck. Even though externally he is showing that yes, such a huge creation you have done. It looks to be very, very wonderful. Looks like the whole universe is within your hand, just like child, holds a walnut. What do we do? One walnut, akhrot, child can hold in his hand. Like that, Narada is saying to his father Brahma, looks like the whole universe is within your hand, in your grip, like a walnut. Isn't it? But then he is asking some very important questions. He is asking, tell me in truth, tell me in reality. I don't want some theories. This may be the cause of this creation. He is saying, tell me in truth, what is the cause of this creation? What is the cause of your energy? So in the second chapter, in the second canto, fifth chapter, Narada begins to inquire. So very interesting inquiries are there, we will see one or two inquiries. Yad Rupam, he is asking about this material creation. Yad Rupam means, Prabhupada translates, symptoms of manifestation. My dear father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifested world. What are the symptoms of this manifested world? Yad Adhishthanam. Adhishthanam means background. Just like the temple is situated on a background. We also say in Sanskrit there is a word, even when the temple construction is there. Adhishthanam means the background or on which the temple is situated. You see? Suppose the building is built, the basement is called the Adhishthanam, on which it is resting. So Narada is asking, what is the background of this cosmic manifestation, where it is situated? Then, Yataha Shrishtam, how is it created? Yataha Shrishtam idam Prabho, O my Father, how is this cosmic manifestation created? Yat samstham, samstham means after being created, how is it sustained? Not that it is created and after creation it is just left like this and it deteriorates. By itself we find anything left to itself deteriorates. How is it conserved? How is it running? Isn't it? And then, Yat Paramcha, above this is whose control? Who is above all this? Yat Param means above this cosmic manifestation, whose control is there? So then he is asking, Tat Tattvam Vadaha Tattvataha. Kindly tell me in truth all these tattvas. So Prabhupada is telling in that purport, the inquiries by Narada Muni on the basis of factual cause and effect appears very reasonable. The atheist, however, put forward many self-made theories without any touch of cause and effect. The manifested world as well as the spirit soul is still unexplained by the godless atheist through the medium of experimental knowledge, although they have put forward many theories manufactured by their fertile brains. Contrary to such mental speculative theories of creation, however, Narada Muni wanted to know all the facts of creation in truth and not by theories. So this is how actually truth has to be ascertained, not by our mental speculation. So Narada Muni wanted to know what is behind this cosmic manifestation, how it is situated, how it is created, who is the controller. Prabhupada is saying, Narada Muni wanted to know factual knowledge, not theoretical knowledge. And Prabhupada is pointing out how these scientists with their fertile brain create some theories and after some years they change their theories. What is the use of such knowledge? Facts do not change, facts remain the same. The knowledge about the so-called ignorance about the facts may change. So how that can be called as knowledge? Just like recently we hear about, there is something called, scientists are discovering something called God particle. All of you must have heard about God particle. Actually earlier in 1900s, the theory given by Einstein, E is equal to mc square, formed the basis of theory of relativity, where Einstein's theory, according to that, one of the understanding of Einstein's theory is that when there is no atmosphere, the light travels constantly with one speed, and that is the highest speed. Why does he say so? If there is atmosphere, then light, when it is traveling, it has so many obstructions and the speed of the light will change, it will vary. But when there is vacuum created, when there is no atmosphere, the light travels constantly with one speed. And then further it says, nothing can exceed the speed of the light. That is another portion of his theory. Light is having the highest speed and nothing can exceed the speed of the light. And he gives the reason why. He says if you calculate E is equal to mc square according to this, if anything is traveling with the speed of light, it will have infinite mass. It will assume infinite mass. So you can imagine, if one train is running with a speed, certain speed, say 500 now, 500 kilometer per hour, it is far, far away from speed of the light. Suppose the train we are able to discover, which we can make it with the speed of light, then it says it will not remain like a train, it will assume infinite mass. So it cannot practically exist. That is what he says. But today, after say around hundreds of years, today the scientists completely, they deny this. For 100 years, this theory was considered to be one of the best theories, one of the best explanations of what they are seeing in the world today. But now they are saying there are subatomic particles which can travel faster than the speed of light. Today they are saying that. Without assuming that mass which Einstein had thought about. They are subatomic, very small atomic particle which can travel far, much more speeder than the speed of the light. You see. So we can see, Prabhupada is saying they will create something with their fertile brain, and after a few years, for few years they will say this is the best explanation about the whole world. And after a few years, another fertile brain will come and he will defeat this theory and another theory will be given. Just like in one of the classes I was hearing that one devotee was explaining that he was going through one album wherein from 1900 to 2001 the discoveries, different things were highlighted in that, through pictures and all. So there, in one of the beaches, there is, one lot of displays are shown that DDT is one of pesticides, earlier pesticides discovered in that was also somewhere in 19th century, which became very famous. All of us at our time also, when we were all children, we all know DDT was very famous. Government used to go and house to house and spray DDT different places for mosquitoes and for different kinds of pests. This was considered to be one of the best of their discoveries at that time. And at that time, when people were in the beginning, because of smell, they were repellent about the smell. DDT smell is very, horrible. And so people were thinking maybe it is very dangerous for us. And then they had put up a lot of signboards, different signboards. So in that photograph, that signboard of 1900s is shown where it is, the scientist community have written on that signboards that it is a myth that DDT is harmful. Do not get swayed away by this myth that DDT is harmful. It is very useful. It will protect, from pest, and then we can have a better crop, all those things. So like that, different signboards are there. And then after few pages, it again shows another signboard in America, where the government has put another board where it says DDT is banned in America, highly toxic for human beings. So you can imagine. The same one kind of scientist community in 1900, they were saying it is not harmful, and it is saying it is very good, it will give us so much of facilities. And then after a few years, again another scientist community comes forward and they say it is harmful, it is very toxic, and DDT is banned. So we can see this is the nature of so-called mental speculation. What goes on when we try to find out truth from our mental speculation. So here we are seeing truth is not ascertained by mental speculation, it is ascertained by inquiry. Narada is not speculating, nor Narada is telling Brahmaji, with your speculation you tell me. He is telling, tell me the truth. Tell me by truth, tattvataha. You give me by truth what is the real cause of this cosmic manifestation. What is behind it? Isn't it? So, the devotees, they receive knowledge through parampara. Prabhupada, just before that, one verse before that, Prabhupada in the first verse itself explains the perfection of parampara system or path of disciplic succession is further confirmed. In the previous chapter, it has been established that Brahmaji received knowledge directly from the Supreme Lord. Same knowledge was imparted to Narada, the next disciple. Narada asked to receive the knowledge and Brahmaji imparted it upon being asked. So, Narada is asking the knowledge to be delivered to him as he has received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this knowledge, then we may wonder why this knowledge is not available to everyone. So this knowledge, it requires a specific condition. And that condition, Krishna explains that in Bhagavad Gita. Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya updekshayanti tad jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. If you want to know the truth, approach the tattvadarshina. And how to approach them? There are certain qualifications required. What are the qualifications required? Inquiry, but inquiry should be with surrender and service. Both are very important. Inquiries should be not challenging and not without obligation of any service attitude. No. Then it is not going to bear any fruit. So inquiries should be with submission, and after submission, service should be rendered. Then it is possible that in Guru Parampara, this knowledge will be revealed. And that is the best method of receiving this knowledge. So that is what we are seeing here, that Prabhupada is saying, the learned Krishna conscious person, however, knows well that behind the cosmic manifestation is the brain of Krishna as it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Devotee therefore is not astonished to see the wonderful boar, because he knows Lord is able to act far more wonderfully by his potencies which are inconceivable to the brain of even the most erudite scientist. So we'll stop with this. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki.